You probably tell yourself all the time how you're not good enough, or how you're not smart enough, or strong enough, or how you're not prepared enough to do the things that you want to do. Part of that is because of your belief system and how it's set up. You believe that you're not smart enough. You believe that you're not prepared enough. You believe that you're not good enough to have the thing that you want to have in your life. And because you have such a strong belief in that thing, the evidence of you being right shows up more often than not. But today we're going to help change that. We're going to help you to understand that the strength in your excuses are stronger than your beliefs in your abilities,
Or not.
or not, or not. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Usual. I'm your host, Paulizé Anthony, and we are joined here today with
Oh, you
Keleisha
you the host?
Lashaye.
What's your show?
Yeah,
Oh, that's wild.
I'm just saying, it's our show. This is ours. It's like it's both ours.
Right, like co-host. Like let's fix that now.
How you doing today?
Hello, everyone. I am Keleisha Lashaye. If you don't already know, yes, another episode. This is gonna be a good one.
Mm,
I'm feeling I'm feeling very light. I'm feeling very optimistic. Yes. How you feeling? What's the energy that we coming into this episode with?
I'm feeling good, honestly. Like, I'm feeling rested, rejuvenated. I'm feeling complete. I'm feeling whole. Like this
Mm.
week was a little chaotic, I ain't gonna lie. I was downloading a lot of new information all at one time, and it kind of overwhelmed me. And I think I felt ill for a moment because I was just like, it was so much information, and I was like, okay, I need a break. My brain needs a break, my body needs a break. I just need to do nothing right now. And so I did that today. I did that a little bit yesterday too. I had some assignments to get done and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel great. I feel greater than I did a few days ago, a few hours ago. And yeah, I'm just ready to tackle the day now.
Mm. You had me think about that like Lil Wayne intro. He's like, I feel good. I feel, like he was going. I don't know what song that was, but anywho,
Mm,
good. So today we talking about believing in our ability, right?
yes. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you what inspired this, right? So I'm in thought a lot. And I was thinking about a couple of things as I'm going throughout my day. And the title that came to my mind was "The Strength in Your Excuses Are Stronger Than Your Belief in Your Abilities." And the reason why this came up for me is because at one point in my life, I believed in my excuses more than I believed in my ability to get things done. And so it kind of put me at a stalemate in a lot of cases because there will be opportunities that would present themselves, and I just wouldn't execute on them because my belief in my lack thereof was stronger than my actual capabilities. So the the opportunity showed up because I was already the person who was ready for it, but my belief system wasn't in place for me to execute on it. And I think this is something that a lot of entrepreneurs face along their journey because we all have these visions and these goals and these desires for our lives, but somewhere along the lines we get so caught up in them and we don't get caught in the execution of them, that we stay stuck in just doing the things, doing the work, doing the preparation, writing the outlines and the courses and things like that. And when we don't get a certain result based on all the effort that we're putting into this work and this passion of ours, we start to create these lacks, these doubts, because we feel like we're not enough or we're not doing enough. But really, in reality, we're just not executing on the information that we've already obtained, right? And so I kind of want to help the entrepreneurs out there, the business owners, the whatever you find yourself in. I just want to help you to overcome that and to take action today. So here we are. Yeah, yeah,
Love
yeah.
that.
Have you ever, let me ask you this. I'm going to preface this by this. Have you ever had an experience like that where you felt like you didn't have enough, or you probably weren't doing enough, or you just felt like you didn't have all of the necessary tools? Like, did you ever feel that way, and how did you like overcome
Oh, absolutely. Last week.
that?
Like I catch myself, I think it happens. Like it doesn't happen as frequently as it used to, but it still does happen. Like, and I think that's the shift because I used to dwell in that and then I would feel bad about it. Like I would catch it and then I would feel bad and feel guilt and then shame and all these feelings and it would just literally keep me at this like low vibration, right? That keeps you just in this loop. But last week, like I had to catch myself because I was like, I found another thing that I wanted to invest in, but then I was like, I had to catch myself because like, listen, girl, we got enough. We already have enough to do the things that we want to do. Um, the thing is, I think that desire to, that perfectionism, I think, that we have, a lot of us have, we want to do something so well, we want to be known for something, or we want to, execute something in some way, shape, or form. So we just I think our brain is literally hardwired because it's a problem solving machine, right? It wants to look for the bad. It wants to look for the things that need to be fixed, that need to be worked on. So we naturally have this tendency to see um what we deem as gaps versus like I actually have this and not to mention that what I think that I need to in this case for me invest in to help me achieve, get some more tools or strategy or mindset or whatever it is, I'm thinking that I can essentially like pay for it and somebody can give it to me. Somebody outside of me can give it to me versus me trusting and having faith in my own self and then executing, even if it's messy, even if it's not perfect, and then perfecting it through the action, right? Like, which I think, even though, like, I'm not against the coach, right? Like, services are open if you need it, y'all. But at the same time, we still need to I think we can move a lot faster. We have a lot more momentum if we actually trust ourselves and just execute, 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 messy, clean it up as we go and perfect it in that way versus someone else. Because I
Mm,
will say for me, like one thing that like really affected me was, and not to say that's a bad thing, right? Again, to invest or, get outside assistance and support, but I would tend to look at all these people and see all their ways of doing things, right? Everybody has their own perspective. And
mm,
what that would do is I would kind of like I literally had to intentionally shift my brain to be like, okay, I don't have to do it exactly like them. But if you were to just take the action and do it yourself and clean it up and as you go, your own your own essence is embodied in that, right? Versus learning someone else's, then unlearning a little bit and then trying to tinker it and figure out what feels good to you. You know what I mean? Like you can actually have a lot more momentum, but the thing is our brain tells us that that's scary, that it's like, no, I need something else. I need, this thing or this person to validate me, to give me what I need.
mm.
So, but yeah, absolutely. That was a long way to answer your question.
Now that was good though. You said a lot of powerful things in that too, because I feel like that happens to the best of us. Like we get all this information at one time, especially early on in our journey. And it's like you don't have that discernment to know like what's good or what's bad or what's right or what's wrong. It's just like you hear something and you see the impact that it has on others and like the person that's speaking, and you get so drawn in and you're just like, that's it, that's the way. But then you see something else and then you're just like, maybe that's the way. So now you got all these different avenues and now you don't know which one to choose because they all look so good, they all look so right. And then you may find yourself like halfway down a certain path, and then you get more information and then you go and start a whole nother path and you didn't even finish the path that you were just previously on. And
Mm,
that happened to me a lot along my early journey. Like I would get so enamored with all of these different programs and coaches and this information, and it's just like, wow, it's so amazing, right? And then I'm thinking like, oh, this is it. This is the one. But the thing that I learned along my journey is that all the information isn't wrong, but it has to be necessary for the pivot. Because I think the thing that we don't tend to look at is how markets change. Like it's one thing to have some information and then like utilize that information because it's so exciting to you. But it's another thing to ask yourself, like, okay, is this valuable for the market that I'm in? And I think that using that level of discernment really helps a lot. Cause that's the thing I had to really stop. Cause I was like you, I was buying courses, I was buying mentorships, and then it was like I get excited, and then maybe after a month or 3 months, I was just like, I'm not even implementing the things. I'm not even doing the things. I got all these worksheets, I got all these courses and stuff, and I've done them, and but I haven't completed them yet. So I'm just like, okay, I need to do something different. My thing is what helped me along my journey was depending on what market that I was mainly focused on, I wanted to continue to add value in that particular space. So the information that I would gather was precise. Instead of just having a plethora of information at my disposal, right? I started getting precise information. So I started using the information that was necessary for whatever niche that I was in. So if it's coaching, and depending on what I'm coaching on, so if I'm coaching meditation, I'm getting only a few bits of information when it comes to meditation because I'm the type that now that I realize it, I have to take my time with certain things, with certain aspects of certain information. So if I see one thing and I resonate with it and it's in alignment with the trajectory in which I am going, I utilize that and I focus solely on that one thing for a long period of time until I've worn it out completely. And then I'll shift over and then I'll utilize some more information. And that's how you create the pivot in your life. Because most people, they're switching their lanes instead of adding to the lane that they're currently in. It's kind of like I'm creating this analogy right now in this moment. It's kind of like you have this one lane and you have this car in this lane, right? Your objective is to not continuously switch lanes, but your objective is to make this car that you have in this one lane like a supercar. So that way you can take this one lane and go as far as you can until you reach your next exit, right? Because the faster you make this car, the quicker you can get to your destination. And then the quicker you can start to see like the changes and the avenues that you really get to take advantage of because you're reaching different levels in your life, right? But again, this takes time to learn, but this is why we're here because we don't want y'all to make the same mistakes that we made along our journey. So maybe we can help somebody along the road. So like how would you say like now how do you take information up now that you're in this space of understanding who you are and how you learn? Like how do you use information now?
Well, hold on. Before, because you said something good that I wanted to kind of expand on a little bit. I really think we need to get into this mindset of going all in on something because I think we don't do that enough. We don't, and I think trust is a big part of that. Trust, confidence, right? But we're not going all in. We're protecting like an exit route for ourselves a lot of times when we like start an idea or we start a venture of some sort or something like that. Even when it comes to things like relationships, right, setting boundaries, a lot of times we don't be going all in, we don't stand 10 toes down into that thing. We kind of like, we be a little bit like let me a little bit, but just in case, like, I got a way out already, right?
Right.
um we make sure that we have some type of like escape plan rather than burning the bridges, right? Like, not already thinking about, oh, well, I got this to fall back on. I think that's something that society kind of, teaches us subconsciously. Like, I think it's a lot of like, have that backup plan, right? And not to say that there's anything wrong with that, because we love a good plan, right? We love that. But sometimes when it comes to the things that the matters of the heart, the matters of like purpose, when it comes to those things, I think we can't have a backup plan. You gotta burn the backup plan. You gotta burn the bridge because we
Mm,
we be over here like flirting with, these ideas of change, but we be still dating the comfort zone. And
mm,
I think those great ideas, the great expansion, the things that we want to manifest in our life are not built in that in between stage, right? They're not built in that. And I think a lot of us have had experiences in dating, right? Where we've like talked to people and then we kind of be like in that conversation, like, what are we doing? What is this, right? Like, because we're not clear. And a lot of us be doing that with our desires, we be doing that with our purpose, and we invest half energy, but then we expect full results, and then we get frustrated, and then um we get down on ourselves, and then we have like less confidence because we're like, oh, maybe it's not for me, right? But no,
mm,
it's not that. You have to go all in on it, and that means burning the bridge to having these backup plans, because you're essentially saying you're sending the energy out, this frequency out to the universe that I don't even fully believe that this is for me, right? And
mm,
it's going to show up, it's going to manifest in a lot of other ways in your life, which is going to essentially keep you in this loop of not being good enough, of it not fully manifesting, right? Maybe you get a little bit of something, but then it don't last. Or, like we manifest a little bit of the dream, but then it like, or we get just like we fall just short of it, right? There's a
mm,
lot of ways that it's going to show up because we are in a frequency that is matching that half energy. So we're going to be around people that aren't going to support you fully, right? You're going to be in an energy that's going to you just like, again, you're in that, like, I was in my head, I'm literally picturing that, like when you double dutching and stuff and you like think you
mm,
about to jump in, but then you're like, wait, it's not the right time. Like that's what I'm picturing, that type of energy. And it's very shaky, it's not grounded, it's not stable, right? So you post the thing and then maybe you just delete it, right? Because like, oh, it only got a few likes. I don't think nobody saw it. Maybe it's not the right time of day. Maybe I need to do it this time. You know what I mean? So let me delete it and do it later. Or you
mm,
call yourself being open, even in love or dating or something like that. But then every time somebody like starts to show up in a way, you're like, oh, nope, red flag. That's just like what that last person did. So you got these walls up, right?
mm,
Like it's all the same thing because we're not going fully in on anything. And I'm a firm believer in the way you do one thing is the way you do all the things, right? It's all connected, right?
mm,
But you can't access new results with that old level effort that we've been doing, right? When that energy is split, you're confusing the universe. Like you are
fact,
literally confusing the universe. That's like,
mm.
you telling a baby, oh, you want some candy? Oh, here's some broccoli. Like, what are we doing? What does this mean? Like, I don't
Fact,
I don't know what to do with this. So the universe is gonna send you mixed signals.
mm,
So essentially, I just feel like, and this is actually what I did a live on recently, was talking about mimicking the energy that you want the universe to send you. You have to do that. You have to go all in. You have to be willing to lose things, even though we don't really lose things. That's a whole nother episode, right? But you got to be willing to release things to bring more aligned stuff in. You have
mm,
to be willing to let things go that just aren't in alignment with it. That
facts,
means that backup plan, because that backup plan, that comfort zone, that really wasn't in alignment, but it's comfortable. We're used
mm,
to it.
mm,
That's,
facts.
yeah, let me get let me calm down a little bit.
Hey, listen, that this is what we are embodying so much. Like you said it clearly. Decision. My coach once told me is decision means to cut off any other option that you have and just focus solely on that one thing. And there's this saying that always gets thrown around is that you know jump out the plane and build a parachute on the way down. But the thing that I'm always thinking about, because I'm gonna speak to the other advocates of people who are asking, like, well, how do you do it? Well, how do you do it like this? Because, well, we're telling you how, right? But I'm gonna tell you this, right? The way and the reason why we speak how we speak, and the reason why we get the results that we get, is because we went through the ugly processes of the manifestation, right? Because nobody really talks about the stages that you have to go through or the pressure and the processes you got to go through in order to be the person who can manifest the things that you desire in your life. because it looks good, it looks glamorous, it looks great, but it's ugly on that other side too. It's ugly in that process, like in that in between stage. Like this is where you are right now. This is where you desire to be, and it looks beautiful. But in between that is you're gonna you're gonna have a lot of hurdles. I will say
Ghetto.
a lot of bumps. You're gonna have a lot of like times where you doubt yourself. You're gonna be wondering like, man, fuck this. I'm about to go back because this ain't it, right? Like we're telling you this because these are the things that make us who we are, and the reason why you're watching this is because along your journey, you need reminders as to why you started in the first place. Because I'm telling you, any entrepreneur, any successful business owner, billionaire, millionaire is always going to tell you this: mindset is the key to all great things. And you're probably like, well, I do mindset already. I read, I write, I da 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 da. Well, continue to do those things because those are going to be the things that help you to overcome so many obstacles in your life. Because here's the thing: we can give you so many gems. We can give you all the tips and tricks and all the protocols and all these things. But at the end of the day, you still got to do the action and it's going to look different for you. It looked different for me. It looked different for Keleisha, and it's going to look different for you as well. Everybody's journey is not the same. We're not going to go through the same things. We might go through similar things, but we're not going to go through the same things because we're two different individuals. Meaning that my process is different than yours, meaning that my emotional awareness and wherewithal is different than yours. If you've never gone through anything, trust and believe you're going to go through something because you have to. It's like the prerequisite to your success. That's another topic in itself. The prerequisite to your success. We'll get into that another time, but these are
Okay.
the things that a lot of us don't see, right? You may not see it all the time, but there's so many things that you have to overcome as you're going throughout this process. And this is why your belief in your abilities is so important than the excuses that you carry. Because the excuses are the things that try to turn you around and say, go back. This ain't it, bro. You ain't, nah, this is not it. This is not what we were promised. Go back. But your abilities have to say, keep going, keep pushing because I'm stronger. My coach, not my like business coach, but like my PT, my like trainer, always said that your body is stronger than your mind. Because when you're working out and you're doing reps and you get to like that peak rep, your body, your mind is telling you like that I can't do another rep. This I cannot do another one. But your body is so much stronger than your mind can fathom because your mind has limiters, right? And as you're going throughout this journey, your objective is to break each and every one of those limiters. The limiter that tells you you're not good enough, the limiter that tells you you're not strong enough, you're not wise enough, you're not brave enough, you don't have enough. When you can override those things with action, you rewrite that code in your brain that lets you know like, nah, actually I do have everything I need. Nah, actually I really am brilliant in this space. Nah, I actually really am stronger than I perceive. I can really do another rep. I can really go out here and make another couple $100, couple thousand if I really really want to, and I really really want to, right? So these are the things that I feel like truly make or break anybody in whatever realm it is that you're operating in.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh, what were you about to say?
I'll leave it there. I'm just gonna let that one marinate.
No, that's so true. And I feel like we gotta kind of tap into the like what you were talking about as that prerequisite, because I was already gonna touch on that. Like I think the key to everything, like again, we think we need more, you know, clarity, or like we need more strategy and tools and information. I'll be loving to get more information, right? Like so, we love that. But what is required of us is the belief.
Mm,
Belief is required before the results can show up.
mm,
But we be scared to like, have the belief, go all in on the belief and take the action because we think we need to see the results. We need to have the clarity. We need to see safety before we
mm,
can go all in on something. But that's the thing, it doesn't show up before. It shows up after.
mm,
Not when you like when we don't need to wait for proof to take action, right? Like you don't even have to wait for other people to believe you too. Go
Mm,
first. Be the first person. Be delusional in that. I don't know how many things I have been the first in my family. There's a list. Okay. And it is not easy, but you are not here to stay comfortable. That is why you've been going through these initiations, which you've been thinking as, you've been kind of thinking like, woe is me, and this happened to me, and this is why I can't do what I need to do. No, that shit is an initiation.
mm,
The
mm,
only way that you're going to get to the next level is for you to shift your mindset to actually get through, to, face the challenge, overcome it, find ways out that you probably didn't even think were there originally. It is your responsibility to be clear, so clear on the
mm,
what it is that you want to do. The business idea, whatever it is, right?
mm,
I think we talk to a lot of people, but I think entrepreneurs is something that's coming up a lot. But
mm,
you have to be clear on the what it is that you want.
mm,
What are you done settling for? What are you, um, what is it that you're becoming?
mm,
That is what you need to be clear on, the vision of what it is.
mm,
The clarity is your job to know the what, but the how is not your business. And
mm,
that's the thing I think we be searching for. We be trying to get more information on the how
mm,
and the when and
mm,
all the other stuff. It's not your business. Leave that to God, leave that to the universe, leave that to your ancestors. That's not for your work to do, and that's why a lot of people, right? I'm pretty sure you can think of examples in your life where you've manifested, right, things in your life, but it didn't happen the way you thought it would.
mm,
Maybe you got a job, but it happened from meeting somebody like randomly at, some random event or something, a coffee shop, and they ended up being a networking, it ended up being some type of networking opportunity. Or, finding people, align people, right? Like we've talked about our story of how we met. We met through Bumble networking, right? Like the how is not your business.
mhm,
The what is, that's your responsibility. That's what you need to focus on. That's what
mm,
you need to be crystal extra freaking clear on, because we don't get to control the how. We are in constant co-creation with the universe. And the thing is, the funny thing is, and this is where, the belief comes in, because the universe, God wants to give you your desire in the easiest way, the most like wondrous way for you. But if you're
mm,
too busy trying to control the outcome, the thing is, we limit ourselves. We very
mm,
rarely think big.
mhm,
The universe, God wants to give it to you,
mhm,
right? Like all of your deepest desires.
mm,
Your inner child wants you to just be like in this playground energy, but you're too busy trying to control the how and limiting yourself, and you closing doors
mm,
that have could literally just be opened for you. And
mm,
this is where I think the faith comes in, because again, and this is like, as y'all can see, I'm very passionate about this. But every decision that we make, it's either aligned with the frequency of fear or it's aligned with the frequency of faith.
mm,
And faith is up there, like it's up there with love, right? You have to be in a an energetic like congruence with it. But if we're so busy in our heads, again, trying to do that problem solving thing and figuring out the how and the when and all that other stuff, we're going to limit ourselves and the
mm,
opportunities that are literally waiting for us, right?
mm. Facts. Nah, facts. That's real. You know, the one thing that comes to mind when you say that is like the only thing that can cure doubt is action. But not just action, but let's say, for instance, somebody's asking, well, how do you do it? It's like the thing that you're afraid of in that moment is your opportunity to change that. Like the action that you take in the face of fear is how you rewrite that story. Is the how you rewrite that narrative of how you see yourself or how you believe in yourself. And you know what's funny? I was thinking about that video you sent me to with old dude when he was talking about how you have confidence in your lack of confidence. Like you're so confident in yourself that you doubt the confidence that you have in your ability to do this. Like you say confidently, like I can't do this. You say confidently, like I'm unable to make this happen. I can't make my dreams come true, whatever the case is. But it's like you're confident in that ability that you say you don't have. But if you switch that confidence and turned it into, I'm confident enough to know that I can get this done. I'm confident to know that I can have this, or I can be a great speaker on stages and be a great coach and help thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, right? That level of confidence that you can have, you're using it in the wrong direction, right? So one thing we're not gonna do, and one thing that I've vowed this year is that I'm not going to validate your excuses. And that's the same thing that you should be telling yourself too. Is like whenever you feel like that doubtful nature is about to appear, you tell yourself, I'm not gonna validate my excuses. Because they may be true, but are they gonna serve you? Are those excuses really going to serve you in that moment? That you're saying, like, oh, well, I don't have enough, so I can't even go. Or, and I would do that, but I ain't really studied hard enough, so I can't really, man, I would start that business, but I don't have enough money to start. And, oh, well, that's your excuse then. But we're not going to validate that excuse because there's too many opportunities available to us now more than ever. I mean, now more than ever. Like, yo, there's literally an assistant in your pocket at this point. Like even before AI and ChatGPT came out, you literally had an assistant in your pocket to where you can research and study anything. You can find free information on anything. Like there shouldn't be an excuse why you can't make just $100, $200, $500, $1,000 this week with just free information, right? At least get the ball rolling in that direction. There's no more excuses. And the only excuse is the one that you make for yourself. So this year or the remainder of this year moving into the next, we're not going to be validating your excuses anymore. So to the ones that are watching this video, it's done for that. Because now is your time to elevate. Now is your time to evolve. Now is your time to stop and just take action on what you already know you're capable of. Because you know you're capable of doing it. That's why that thought that you're having, that's why that thing that you want to do so bad, it doesn't leave you alone. Like I was having a conversation with my homeboy the other day, right? And he was just telling me, like, man, I want to do X, Y, and Z, but I'm just tired and things of that nature. And I was telling him, I was like, yo, you may be tired of fighting that thing that's always calling you, but until you answer, it's gonna keep calling you because you know in your mind you're made for greater. You know it. You've always known it. But when you start to create the resistance between that greatness and the excuse, that's where that tiredness comes from because it's like you're just fighting your greatness. It's like greatness like you said, the universe wants to bless you, right? But you keep on fighting it, saying like, nah, I'm not. You keep telling yourself you're not worthy of it, but it's like literally shoving it in your face, like here, here's all the things that you want. Here's all the things that you ask for. And then you're just like, nah, I'm good. And it's like, it's making you tired because you keep on declining. You keep on declining the abundance that is available to you. And then you said something else too that was really, um, that made me think about something else too. And I'll end it right here. The thing about the universe and God wanting to bless you is that you have to learn how to dance with the storm. That's why things seem so hard right now. That's why it feels like this path you're going down, it feels impossible because when the universe wants to bless you, right? It blesses you through giving you the opportunity to understand how to dance in the storm, right? Because sometimes things can get chaotic. Everything is not always going to be calm waters. It's not always going to be, peaceful. It's going to get chaotic at times, right? You're going to have a period of peace, but then it's going to get chaotic again. So you got to learn how to dance with that storm. How Bruce Lee said, you got to be like water. It can crash, it can flow, right? It can take the form of whatever it embodies. You have to be like that. You have to learn how to dance with that storm so that way you can recognize the blessings that the universe is trying to deliver to you. Now I'll end it with it.
Yeah. No, that's perfect because the thing is, the universe can't deliver on those excuses, right? And the
Mm,
excuses that we create is what's going to create confusion. That's going to fog up your frequency. It's going to tell
mm,
the universe, like, I kind of want it, but I'm not really ready, right? Like, so instead of getting the clarity that we think we need, and that's what we're searching for, right? We're going to get the chaos. We're going to get friction. We're going to get more doubt. And I think the shift, right, is again realizing that the energy we put out is going to come right back to us. It's like,
mm.
what's that thing?
Frisbee?
Is that the thing
Boom,
that comes back? Yeah.
a boomerang.
Yeah, that. I think the frisbee comes back too, but
It,
but
no.
yeah, it's literally like that, right?
Mm,
Because but the thing is, I think we just don't remember that you trying to do so much to force something with the again trying to search through with the how and the when and all that, it disrupts the flow of the energy, right?
mm,
So having clarity on the what it is that we want is what's going to clear the channel for us, right? Like it's sending the signal.
mm,
But action is what we need to actually get that frequency to align with us.
mm,
Thinking about it, that's why I mean, mindset is very important, but we have to go beyond mindset. We have to get into the embodied energy. And
mm,
one thing I know about getting what you want, manifesting, whatever you want to call it, you have to embody the energy of what it's like, literally acting like it's already yours.
mm,
You have to be in that energy of like claiming it. And that's the going all in energy versus like, again, just waiting for the sign or, whatever. Because the thing is, I think we forget that if it's been implanted in you, right? And I think a lot of us, like, we may have had some idea, right? That like we're like, no, that's crazy. Like that's big, right? Like we may not even think that, but subconsciously we think that.
mm,
And the thing is, if it was implanted in you, it's for you. Like there is a reason that it was embedded in your DNA and your coding, right? And we forget that. Like God didn't you're not here to play it small. None of us are.
mm,
But a lot of us are doing it and we're staying comfortable
mm,
because we have this doubt because we don't have evidence. But we get
mm,
evidence through the messy action. We get evidence through creating community and aligning with community that's in alignment with it. Because it's going to
mm,
be very hard to, so this is just moving into how do we shift this, right? Because it's nice to talk about, we know it, right? But it's another thing to actually like, how do I get into this energy? And one thing I think we've talked about it on plenty of episodes is community.
mm.
If you
Yep.
get community that's playing it small and that's always complaining and that like people that just are comfortable with where they're at, right? It's going to be very hard to be in an energy in that embodied energy that's expansive. That's like, let's be delusional. Let's like be in this energy of I already have it and it's already for me. It's already meant for me.
Mm,
I'm ready. Thank you.
mm,
If people are like kind of talking down on it and they're telling you you're delusional and they're telling you like okay, yeah, whatever, right? Like they're not even feeding into it. You need to be around people that are going to literally be in alignment with that energy like, yeah, girl, let's fucking go. Right?
yeah.
Like let's do this. What I was waiting for you.
Yeah.
You need to be around people that are going to lift you up or that, be in community watching people, unfollowing people that don't align with it, but then following people that are living already in that frequency.
Mm,
Right? Things started shifting for me when I started being in communities with millionaires.
mm,
Things started shifting for me when I started being with people that were waking up at, 5, 6 a.m. even on the weekends. Because they're like, there are no days off type of thing, you
Mm,
know? Like you get in a different energy and it does something different to you than just you doing it by yourself. Again, you are a co-creator with the universe.
mm,
So we got to act like it. We got to move like it.
facts. Facts. Any last words? Were those the final remarks, or do you have any like last advice to anybody who is on this journey right now and is looking to take action on the things that they have in mind?
I think we need to like the one step aside from like community, I think another big shift in this, it's shifting our actions.
Mm,
So I know we all know that we need to take action, right? However, the size of the action is what makes the shift. Brick
mm,
by brick, the house gets built. Baby steps are still progress. And we need to remember that. A lot of us think we got to make these big leaps again with like to get, to get somewhere, to make it worth it, right? So we go from I don't went to the gym once every 3 months, to okay, starting in January, I'm gonna go to the gym 5 days a week. That's not sustainable.
mm,
So we need to shift the actions that we take. So rather than making this leap to 5 days a week, maybe we start off with, okay, I'm going to replace one meal a day with a salad and fruit. I'm going to, it could be to take something away, maybe only desserts 2 days out of the week or something, or whatever we need to add to, again, adding the salad. Like we need to shift our mindset and how we set our goals
mm,
because that will tell, even if it sounds good, right? Like 5 days a week at the gym sounds real good. Until like week 4, and you like, man, fuck this shit, right? Let's be real. That's why around like Marchish, most of them like New Year's resolutions ain't resolute no more.
mm,
So
mm,
I think if we were to shift it and create kind of like micro actions, things that move the needle, and create those as stepping stones to the goal, I think that would make people like it would have us go a lot like farther because it's
mm,
more sustainable. It's more
mm,
sustainable. And then also the caveat to that is also celebrating along the way. Enough of like we're not celebrating ourselves. We're not celebrating the steps. That's why another reason why community is important too. Because
mm,
a lot of those people that's like not cheering you on, that aren't motivating you, they're probably also not celebrating you
mm,
because they might be, they could be in that jealousy frequency, or that like literally secretly try to like sabotage you or something in some way, shape, or form, or make you feel bad about like the goal or something like that, right? So celebrating yourself, taking micro actions, and ensuring that your community is in alignment with where you
mm,
want to go, because
mm,
there's like you said, there's too many resources. Now you got Instagram, you got TikTok, you got YouTube, folks. There's so many people out here that have communities in some way, shape, or form. Also, you need to pay attention to energy because not every community is great, but there are a lot of good resources, right? So just aligning yourself with people, even a Google search, Eventbrite, like I found communities through that, right? So you just never know. Just finding spaces to put yourself in so that you can just keep taking these micro actions, celebrating along the way, because that creates that dopamine effect. Your brain is going to say, "Oh, okay, this shift isn't so bad. I like this. I celebrated this," right?
mm,
And it's gonna change your world, and it's more sustainable than the 5 days a week, or I'm just gonna start this business and just say, hey, go all in, versus again taking the baby steps that are still progress. So I think if you can do those three things, you can change your life.
mm. Nah, yeah, that's that's really good. Like I really like that. I don't really have too much more to add to that. Like I love the celebration of your wins and your successes. I feel like honestly that's really big. Like in the action that you're taking, you gotta be celebrating those wins, and you gotta find people who are willing to celebrate those wins with you too. Because I remember like when I was doing multi-level marketing, it's like anytime that I would post about the progress that I did in my business, like the whole chat would just light up and everybody's just like congratulating you, telling you good job, keep going. and your coaches, they'll help you to align and realign with your goal because that's so important. Because sometimes with the success that we happen, we can veer off the path a little bit. But when you're in those communities, they make sure that you stay in alignment with the path that you had previously set for yourself. So that way you can measure your trajectory. So that's key.
Yeah.
Celebrating your wins. Definitely taking the action. I would say do like an 80-20 rule. Like in anything that you're doing in your life, approach it with like an 80-20 rule because it's like you get 80% of the reward doing 20% of the work. That doesn't mean you don't do less work. That just means you do work with intention. So I approach everything with the 80-20. So it's like I do 80% work and I do like 20% research, right? And that's just how I operate, right? So you can apply that to your life in any way, just 80-20, because it keeps things balanced. It keeps things focused and it keeps you understanding, keeping the main thing, right? Because you don't want to be over here like doing all this research, gathering all this information, and you're not executing on it. But if you can gather little bits and pieces of information and then execute on it and then just work it and just work that little bit of information, you can see yourself going further than just gathering stuff and then just kind of sort of using it and then gathering more stuff because then you become overwhelmed because you got too many options, which is kind of ironic because I did make a video saying the more options you have, the more confident you become, which is true, right? But it's intention. It's all about intention. So another thing too, and this is the last thing I'll say, create your intent. Like, what is the intention behind what it is that you're doing? Are you trying to get out of your 9 to 5? Are you trying to create a sustainable income to where you can provide for your family, to where you can actually operate how you want to operate? Like, if you keep your intention clear, then you will stay committed to the process that it takes for you to do the thing and get the results that you're looking for. So that's it. That's all I really have. And another thing that I will say too, right? Growth doesn't happen in the usual places.
And neither do we.
This has been another episode of Beyond the Usual where we don't just talk about it,
We go beyond it, y'all.
we sure do. And until next time, peace and progress.